Venus stations retrograde on March 1st at 10 degrees 15 minutes of Aries. And this begins her 6-week retrograde journey as she travels back into the energies of Pisces and interacts again with Neptune, the North Node, Saturn, and also experiences a Venus star point, as well as traveling across the Aries solar eclipse point. So what we have here is Venus on a significant reprogramming journey as she slows down to consider what she's truly wanting to initiate and begin through the Aries themes. And then as she is coming into that awareness within herself, she voyages back into Pisces, where she connects to more of her soul's wisdom, her divine intentions, and understanding as well what she's truly completed and doesn't want to unconsciously begin again. I feel that this particular Venus retrograde holds a lot of significance, as well as heightened self-awareness around what we really want, what we want to start, what we want to move towards, what we want to create, which are all Aries themes, through the Venus themes of self-worth, self-confidence, what we value in ourselves, what we want to create, how we connect, how we receive. Venus relates to our love languages, our partnerships, both love partnerships and friendships. She rules the domain of the feminine, the divine feminine of all women, sisters, friendships, acquaintances. And in Aries, she typically wants to go full on, to get started, to get moving. She's ready to go. But this particular retrograde is a slowdown that's going to bring her more gifts around her own needs, her own personal fulfilling qualities, a sense of truly being in her power of what she wants now without just dashing out the door and moving ahead, forgetting perhaps what she's experienced, what she's been through, and even being out of touch with who she is now. This Venus retrograde is supporting the realignment into more of your authentic self based on your spiritual path, what you've been learning, how you've been evolving, how you've been healing and growing. And as she interacts with Neptune, the North Node, and Saturn, all in Pisces, she's really going to have time to reflect upon how she's changed, how she's different, and how to really integrate these parts of herself at a more conscious level. Venus retrograde is also a time to be aware of your finances, possessions, money, taxes, to look at what you are spending your money on, as well as investing your energy in. You might realize it's time to realign your priorities, to invest in more of what you really want and need at this time, to look at what no longer serves you, what is excessive, what you've been doing that is for others but drains you. These are some of the themes that come up as Venus retrogrades back into Pisces, and we connect with more of our empathy, our giving, our sensitivities, our desire to help others. And yet, what's the cost? What has it cost you, or where is it out of alignment with who you are now and what you need now? So this particular Venus retrograde is going to bring up more of what you need and want, as well as that realignment of your own personal values and feeling confident enough to say yes to yourself, yes to what you want to manifest and experience, knowing that you are worth it, that you can create it, that you can have it, but it needs to be connected to a part of your core self. Core self. Now, Venus is typically known as being in her detriment in Aries, and that's because Aries is ruled by Mars. And this is the domain of Venus, not necessarily seeking the connection or counsel of others. We connect her to the energies of love, receptivity, being able to interact with others, wanting quality relationships, wanting to be in partnerships and have the right people in her world. In Aries, she has a sense of herself that's more independent, self-aware, discerning, and particular. She's wiser on who she calls in, on who she wants to connect with, because this Venus in Aries, when she's too impulsive or too impatient, she learns lessons about herself, about what she wants, about mistakes from the past, about energies that aren't correct for her. And with a Venus retrograde, there's a review process that comes about. Now, the Aries energy connects to your self-identity, who you are, how you understand your needs, and you might have a new level of awareness around what you have experienced or what you want to experience next that is new for you, based on what you've been through, what you've endured, or what you have learned. So I feel that this particular Venus retrograde is going to bring us into more self-awareness around what we really want. It's going to elevate not only our discernment, but our self-worth. And that will begin a whole new creation cycle here that will play out as Venus re-enters Aries when she's direct and is more deeply connected and integrated with those Pisces ideals, those Pisces energies of her spiritual path, her true joy, her trust in the universe, divine timing, and what she's closed out that is no longer a frequency match and is no longer a part of herself or a part of her world as she moves forward. So with this Venus retrograde, there are more significant beginnings and endings. She travels from nearly 11 degrees of Aries back to 24 degrees of Pisces. This area of your chart is where the Venus retrograde is re-evaluating, reinvesting, reconsidering, and recreating your life. So keep in mind that because the retrograde lasts for around 40 days, you will need to potentially fight the urge to dash ahead or move quickly, because a Venus retrograde in Aries needs to hold back and sit with the energy, sit with the sparks of inspiration, allow it to gift her with new self-awareness. And then after her journey retrograde, where she stations direct, April 13th, she then moves ahead. She will re-enter Aries, and she'll truly be ready to go in this next creation cycle after she has been in a stage of reprogramming, recalibrating, and realigning herself. So those important dates: March 1st, Venus stations retrograde at 10 degrees, 50 minutes of Aries, travels back to 24 degrees of Pisces until April 13th, That's where she stations direct. And she moves ahead, re-enters Aries the end of April, and will finally be ready for those new starts as May begins. I hope this has given you some good insights into what this particular Venus retrograde can be working through you and with you. Keep in mind too that all Venus retrogrades are really connecting to our core self-worth. And you might have some beautiful realizations around who you are now, what you want next, and what is best for you going forward.